Kai's world faded to black. The distant sounds of battle turned to muffled echoes, the sharp pain in his chest dulling into nothingness. When he finally stirred, his entire body felt heavy. His head throbbed, and as he forced his eyes open, he was greeted by the harsh flicker of sparking lights above. The corridor was in shambles. The Voidborn troopers were gone, at least the ones he had been fighting. Shattered pieces of his golden barrier lay scattered around him, glimmering faintly before fading entirely. The artifact rested on the floor, still dim, its once brilliant glow reduced to a faint pulse like a dying heartbeat. Kai groaned as he tried to sit up. Pain shot through his ribs, and he realized the blast had done more damage than he thought. His limbs felt weak, unresponsive, but his mind still clung to the one thing that kept him going. He wasn't done yet. Zera, Kai muttered, his voice hoarse. He glanced around for the holographic guide, hoping to hear its steadying voice. Nothing. Only the distant groan of the station's failing structure answered him. The Starforge's alarms still wailed faintly in the background, but even that sound seemed muted, like it was coming from a great distance. The battle had shifted to another section of the station, giving him a brief moment of respite. It wasn't victory, it was survival by luck, nothing more. With a trembling hand, Kai reached for the artifact. The moment his fingers closed around it, he felt a faint spark of warmth. Not the searing power it had unleashed before, but enough to remind him that it still held something worth fighting for. He forced himself to his knees, every muscle in his body protesting. The cosmic threads stirred faintly within him, sluggish and strained, like a fire struggling to catch in a rainstorm. Slowly, he pushed himself upright, leaning against a wall for support. His mind raced through the possibilities. If the troopers were gone, they must have moved on. And if they moved on, it meant the Starforge's core was still under attack. The station trembled again, more violently this time, as though echoing his thoughts. Dust rained down from the ceiling, and the dim corridor lights flickered ominously. A metallic groan reverberated through the station's walls, sending a chill down Kai's spine. He looked down at the artifact. It pulsed again, just barely, but it was enough. The Starforge wasn't lost, not yet. But if he didn't move soon, if he didn't push past the pain, the Voidborn would take it, and the galaxy would lose its last line of defense. Taking a shaky step forward, Kai clenched the artifact tightly in his hand. The warmth spread slowly, easing some of his aches and focusing his thoughts. He stumbled down the corridor, each step steadying him, pulling him closer to the battle he knew was still raging. At the heart of the station, his mind sharpened. He didn't need to win this war today, he just needed to survive long enough to turn the tide. The Voidborn might have him outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched, but he wasn't alone. Not as long as the artifact still pulsed in his hand. Not as long as the threads whispered possibilities into his soul. Kai grimaced and pressed forward. The Starforge wasn't finished, and neither was he.